A candlelit Egyptian chamber with a flickering lamp casting a warm glow over an ancient stone bed where a figure lies in sacred repose. The room is adorned with mystical symbols, and faint ethereal light seems to flow toward the sleeper, connecting them to an unseen realm. In the background, shadowy figures of gods in animal form, like a falcon, soar toward the heavens, their forms blurred in the smoky air. The room's atmosphere is both serene and divine, bridging the gap between the material and spiritual worlds. A Greek temple's courtyard at night, illuminated by dim candlelight. A priest stands at an altar, bathed in the soft glow of incense smoke, preparing for sacred rest. Linen sheets are spread carefully across a stone bed, with crystal-clear water flowing from a nearby basin. The priest's eyes are closed in quiet reverence as the stars above twinkle like distant guides. The peaceful setting carries a sense of ritual purity, with soft shadows dancing around the sacred space. A vast, sweeping desert under a starlit sky, where a nomadic traveller lies on a bedroll, surrounded by flickering candles, each one casting long, graceful shadows against the dark earth. The stars above resemble a river flowing across the sky, shimmering with divine guidance. The traveller's eyes are closed, drifting into a state of deep meditation, as a celestial god in the form of a bird appears in the clouds. The quiet, sacred solitude evokes an intimate connection with the divine. An ancient Sumerian temple, where priests kneel in prayer, their heads bowed toward a stone altar. The altar is laden with offerings of incense and small sacred objects. Soft light illuminates the scene from oil lamps as the air is thick with ritual smoke. In the background, the goddess of dreams, depicted as a radiant figure with closed eyes and flowing robes, stands in quiet observation, overseeing the ceremony of purification before sleep. The atmosphere is reverential, filled with the mystery of divine communication. A vast landscape under the shadow of twilight, where a lone figure descends into a deep cave-like structure, symbolizing the ancient belief of descending into sleep. The cave is marked with ancient symbols and glowing stones, representing the inner journey of the soul. The figure, draped in flowing linen, moves slowly, guided by a faint light from a distant candle. The air is still, the cave dark yet filled with the potential of unexplored realms, an invitation to journey into the depths of the subconscious. A quiet, modern bedroom illuminated by a single bedside candle. The bed is soft, inviting, and simple, with the peaceful image of a child sleeping beneath the covers, a faint smile on their lips. Around the bed, the quiet whispers of forgotten rituals linger, an aura of ancient reverence still present. The air is heavy with stillness and subtle golden light, as if the room itself holds memories of an age-old tradition. The child's sleep is a gentle invitation to reconnect with the sacred silence of the night. The ancient temple of Saqqara in Egypt, a grand structure bathed in golden sunlight, with pilgrims entering the dark, incense-filled chambers. Priests stand in robes, guiding the faithful to stone beds adorned with fragrant lotus petals. A soft haze of smoke from burning oils swirls in the air, and faint celestial light seeps through high stone arches, illuminating the dreamers in repose. The atmosphere is thick with reverence, as the boundary between body and spirit begins to dissolve in the sacred silence of the night. A Greek Asclepion, a marble temple nestled by the sea, with pillars stretching toward the starry night sky. Moonlight bathes the stone courtyard where weary visitors are led to sleeping chambers. Some lie beneath open roofs, while others wait at the edge of a sacred spring. The serene face of Asclepius, carved into the stone walls, is illuminated in the moonlight, while his serpent winds around the temple, symbolizing healing. The air is filled with the quiet murmur of prayers and the soft glow of candles. A peaceful scene in an ancient healing temple, where a dreamer lies upon a stone bed, the air filled with the sweet scent of myrrh. Above them, the presence of Asclepius or a divine serpent appears in the form of a shimmering vision, glowing with otherworldly light. The night is deep and still, with the only sound the faint rustling of leaves and distant waves. The dreamer's face reflects a serene trust, surrendering to the sacred ritual as their spirit drifts into the realm of visions. A ritual scene in an ancient Greek temple of sleep, where priests and followers prepare for sacred rest. The air is thick with the smoke of incense, and offerings of honey and bread are placed upon stone altars. Moonlight pours through the temple's open roof, casting shadows that dance on the marble floors. In the background, divine figures, perhaps Asclepius or his sacred serpent, are carved into the stone, their eyes glowing faintly as they watch over the dreamers. The entire scene vibrates with ancient reverence and anticipation. A serene landscape at twilight where a procession of dreamers walks barefoot along a marble corridor in a temple of healing. The sound of sandals fading echoes as they approach the stone beds, each chamber illuminated by flickering torchlight. The sea breeze gently stirs the air, carrying with it the scent of lotus and myrrh. The dreamers' faces are calm, eyes closed, as they prepare to surrender to the divine presence of the night. The dream world awaits, as ancient as the stars above. A quiet, reverent scene in an ancient healing temple at night, where a sacred bed is surrounded by pillars adorned with carvings of serpents and gods. The dreamer, lying on the bed, appears bathed in soft light, as if touched by the divine presence of the serpent or Asclepius himself. Their eyes are closed in deep meditation, as soft smoke from burning incense curls toward the ceiling. Above, celestial stars twinkle, symbolizing the link between the earthly and divine. The atmosphere is peaceful, sacred, and full of unseen wisdom. A Sumerian scribe carving wedge-shaped symbols into a clay tablet by the light of an oil lamp. The room is dim, with intricate designs etched into the walls, echoing the spiritual significance of the moment. The scribe is focused on recording the king's dream, which is vividly imagined a meteor shower falling from the heavens above. The symbols glow softly as the story of prophecy is being transcribed, capturing the essence of an ancient world where dreams were considered divine messages. The night sky over the Great Sphinx of Giza, illuminated by stars. A young prince, Thutmose IV, lies in a peaceful slumber beneath the Sphinx's shadow. In his dream, the Sphinx itself comes to life, speaking to him with a voice like thunder. The scene is surreal, with the Sphinx glowing with divine energy, offering the prince the promise of the throne. The landscape is otherworldly, the sands swirling as the dream unfolds, reflecting the ancient belief in divine visions. A Babylonian dream analyst in a candlelit chamber, surrounded by tablets inscribed with symbols of gods and omens. The analyst carefully examines a clay tablet depicting a serpent, unsure whether it represents a divine guide or an enemy. The walls are lined with scrolls and symbols that represent the complex language of dreams. The room is filled with ritual objects, and the dreamer's face shows intense concentration as they prepare to interpret the dream using sacred intuition, balancing art and science in the ancient tradition. A haunting, dreamlike landscape of Mesopotamia, where a figure flies above a cityscape. The stars shimmer brightly above, reminiscent of an ancient vision. Below, a figure runs from a shadowy force, echoing the common dream themes of chase and fear. The night sky is filled with mystical symbols, bridging the unconscious and divine. The scene is bathed in ethereal light, creating a surreal atmosphere where the dreamer is caught between reality and the eternal mystery of the night. A group of Sumerian kings and priests gathered in a stone temple, listening intently as a high priest interprets the dreams of a king. The dream, a vision of a mountain collapsing, hangs heavily in the air. The room is dimly lit by flickering torches, with intricate murals depicting celestial events. The priest's expression is one of deep reverence and concentration as he decodes the dream's meaning. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation as the group awaits divine guidance through the language of the night. A shadowy figure standing at the threshold of a vast open door leading into a celestial realm. The figure looks back toward the physical world, where the glowing remnants of ancient temples and ruins lie. The door to the divine is illuminated with light, and beyond it, a river of stars flows like liquid silver. The scene conveys the mystery of the subconscious, the unseen world just beyond the veil, as the figure prepares to step into a realm of visions, fate, and cosmic conversation, just as the ancient dreamers once did. A shaman seated by a crackling fire, deep in a trance, surrounded by swirling smoke that rises like serpents toward a star-filled sky. The air is thick with the scent of burning herbs, including tobacco and ayahuasca. In the flickering firelight, shadows dance like spirits, and the shaman's body is still, while their mind descends into the dream world. The landscape around them is dark and vast, with faint glimpses of unseen realms, a mysterious, ethereal space where the lines between the waking world and the dreamscape blur. A Siberian tundra at night, where a shaman stands in solitude, the icy winds of the north swirling around them. In the distance, the rhythmic beat of a drum echoes through the snow-covered expanse. The shaman's breath forms clouds in the air as they prepare to enter a trance. Their eyes are closed, and the landscape before them seems to stretch infinitely, fading into the realms of the unseen. In the deep silence, the shaman's spirit is said to travel across the snow, guided by the drumbeat like a pulse through the universe. An Amazonian hut, illuminated by the soft glow of a single flame. The air is thick with the pungent scent of herbs, and a shaman kneels on the ground, surrounded by ritual objects, feathers, stones, and incense. Their eyes are closed in deep concentration, their mind journeying into the dream world. The walls of the hut are decorated with painted symbols, and the shaman's body is still, but their spirit is navigating invisible realms. The scene evokes the sacredness of the night and the deep connection between the shaman and the spiritual world. A dreamer lying on a stone bed in the center of a sacred clearing, surrounded by a circle of chanting figures. The air is still, and the stars above shine with a strange, ethereal glow. As the dreamer falls into sleep, their body is peaceful, but their spirit is drifting into the unseen realm. Figures from the dream world begin to materialize: serpents, trees, and animals, symbols of deeper knowledge and guidance. The dreamer's mind moves through this mystical landscape, traveling between realms, guided by the rhythm of the chant. A shaman standing in front of a carved stone altar, preparing to interpret the dreams of a tribe. The sacred space is filled with incense and ritual objects. The shaman holds a drum, and the air hums with the anticipation of spiritual insight. The dreamer's vision appears before them, depicted as a vibrant, shifting landscape of rivers and mountains, where the shaman can sense the energy of the spirits. The room is bathed in soft golden light, as the shaman prepares to share their journey with the tribe, transforming their dreams into living stories. A scene of a shaman in a deep trance, floating above the ground, their body barely touching the earth beneath them. The dream world extends out in front of them, an ocean of visions swirling in colors and patterns. Spirits of ancestors and animals appear, offering guidance, while the shaman's spirit travels through this sacred space. The stars overhead are mirrored in the dreamscape below, creating a seamless connection between the living world and the realm of the unseen. The shaman's journey is timeless, moving between realms in a dance of transcendence. An Egyptian priest lying in a stone chamber beneath the pyramids, surrounded by an eerie, sacred silence. Their body is still, but their mind is consciously awake in a radiant dreamscape, where light flows from their thoughts like liquid gold. The dream world is a fluid reflection of the waking world, but more vibrant and surreal. The priest, guided by the falcon of Horus, flies through an illuminated sky, their consciousness soaring beyond the confines of the earthly realm, mastering both the dream and the soul. A Tibetan monk sitting cross-legged in deep meditation atop a high plateau, the peaks of the Himalayas stretching behind them. The air is thick with stillness as the monk enters a lucid dream, their spirit leaving their body and walking through a landscape made of pure light and shadow. Each step reshapes the dreamscape, mountains bloom and rivers swirl with their intention. The monk, fully aware within the dream, is both the observer and the creator, a master of dream yoga in search of enlightenment. A Greek philosopher, perhaps Pythagoras, lying on a simple bed, facing east toward the rising Sunday. As he sleeps, his mind enters a lucid realm where the laws of reality dissolve. In this dream, he witnesses geometric shapes and celestial bodies aligning in perfect harmony, representing the hidden patterns of the universe. His body rests, but his consciousness soars through time and space, unraveling the mysteries of existence as he observes the strange logic of the dream world. The interior of a Greek temple dedicated to Asclepius, where disciples lie on stone beds under the open sky, preparing for sleep. Moonlight filters through columns, casting a soft glow on their peaceful faces. Around them, ethereal visions appear, gods and spirits emerge from the shadows, offering wisdom. The dreamers remain consciously aware as they enter this sacred, liminal space, where their dialogue with the divine takes place through dreams and visions. A secluded chamber where an initiate practices the ancient art of lucid dreaming. The initiate, lying on a bed made of woven reeds, has a serene expression. Around them, symbols and sacred words, deities, flames, and geometrical patterns float in the air like luminous threads, anchoring their awareness in the dream. The space between waking and sleeping is marked by a soft, golden light, and the initiate's mind moves fluidly through a dreamscape, casting emotions and fears into light. An initiate crossing the threshold of a dream, standing at the edge of a vast, otherworldly garden that stretches into infinity. The landscape is a surreal mix of the familiar and the unknown, trees that glow with internal light, rivers that flow with liquid stars, The initiate is fully aware, a divine guide in this lucid world. As they move forward, the dream bends to their will, reshaping the terrain with each thought, each breath, as they journey deeper into the mysteries of the night. A vast, mysterious temple covered in ivy, its entrance a grand archway formed by ancient stone carved with serpents and spirals. Inside, dream initiates from different cultures. Egyptian priests, Mayan shamans, and Indian yogis gather in a sacred chamber beneath the moonlight. The chamber is alive with symbols of light, each one glowing softly as the initiates meditate, eyes closed, breathing in rhythmic unison. The air is thick with incense and cosmic energy, a silent conversation unfolding across time as these dreamers connect through shared vision. A mystical scene of a Mayan shaman standing before the towering pyramid, tracing the movements of the stars in the sky. The constellations swirl in a luminous dance, aligning with sacred symbols etched into the temple stones. The moon goddess, Ix-Chel, appears in the sky, casting a silvery glow upon the shaman's face as they enter a trance. Below, the jungle stretches endlessly, alive with the hum of energy, the dream world merging with the physical in a cosmic symphony. A hidden room within an Egyptian temple, adorned with hieroglyphs and sacred symbols. In the center, a circle of priests meditates in silence, their bodies still as they enter a shared dream. Their faces are serene, illuminated by the soft glow of flickering candlelight, while the walls pulse with ancient energy. Above, a giant serpent winds through the air, representing wisdom and transformation, as the dreamers drift together into the same vision, a sacred communion across time and space. A Tibetan monk in a high mountain temple, standing before a massive gong. The temple is adorned with intricate carvings of gods and spirits, and the monk's hands hover over sacred objects, drums, prayer flags and stones. As he breathes deeply, a bright light fills the room, symbolizing the transition between the waking world and the dream realm. The monk's spirit begins to ascend, dissolving into the vastness of the dream world, where the boundaries between self and universe disappear, revealing an infinite cosmic landscape, a secret gathering of dream initiates, their faces illuminated by the flickering firelight as they sit in a circle, exchanging visions. The dreamers from distant lands Egypt, Greece, and India share the symbols they saw in their sleep. The gate of light, the serpent, and sacred geometries. The fire burns brightly between them, casting long shadows on the walls, where celestial bodies and intricate patterns swirl as the dreamers connect their visions into a shared language. In the air, the subtle glow of ancient symbols intertwines, forming a bridge between worlds. An ancient temple, carved deep into the mountainside, with columns that seem to stretch into the heavens. The structure is adorned with elaborate stone carvings of gods and cosmic symbols. In the temple's center, a massive stone door is open to the night sky, where stars swirl in a celestial dance. Initiates, clothed in simple robes, sit in deep meditation at the base of the temple, their minds and spirits stretching beyond the physical world. A light, like a bridge, connects their dream worlds, joining their consciousness in a sacred network of shared visions. The Great Pyramid of Giza, at night, with its precise geometry casting long dramatic shadows under the starlit sky. Priests and initiates lie in silent meditation in the depths of the pyramid, surrounded by dark corridors that lead upward like veins of stone, converging at the apex where the stars align perfectly. A subtle hum seems to vibrate through the air, the energy of the pyramid's design resonating with the souls of those within. The scene is imbued with a sense of sacred stillness, where the dream world and the physical world meet in harmony. A sacred space within the Asclepion of Greece, where marble columns are arranged in perfect sacred ratios, creating a rhythmic flow of light and sound. The visitor walks through the open-air temple, the breeze gently flowing through the columns as the air hums with a quiet resonance. The walls are alive with energy, as if the stone itself sings, guiding the mind into a waking dream. The architecture of the space is a living entity, weaving the visitor's consciousness into the divine geometry of the cosmos. A winding labyrinth in Crete, its path a spiral carved into the earth, symbolic of both descent and ascent. At the center, a figure stands in meditative stillness, bathed in the soft light of the setting Sunday. The labyrinth's design mirrors the journey of the soul, a sacred passage that leads inward to the core of existence and outward to divine illumination. As the figure moves through the spiral, the stone walls seem to breathe, as if the very geometry of the labyrinth holds the wisdom of ages within. A Mayan pyramid at sunrise, where the shadow of a serpent appears to slither down the stairs in perfect alignment with the sun's rays. The image of the serpent is both alive and symbolic, representing transformation and the crossing of worlds. At the base of the pyramid, a group of worshippers watches in awe, witnessing the seamless dance between light, shadow, and the sacred geometry of the structure. The air is thick with spiritual energy, as the moment of cosmic alignment brings the dream of the universe into focus. A grand temple in India, its domes and intricate architecture rising toward the sky, reflecting the geometry of consciousness itself. Inside, an initiate walks through the temple, passing through archways that mirror the cycles of birth, balance, and ascension. The sacred space is bathed in soft light, with symbols of the eternal journey, circles, triangles, and spirals carved into the stone. The initiate's path is guided by the rhythm of the space, where each step is a movement through both the earthly and the divine, a dance with the geometry of the soul. An ancient temple ruin at twilight, its stones still humming with the resonance of forgotten rituals. The wind moves through the crumbled walls, creating a low, haunting resonance that fills the space. The temple, long abandoned, stands as an instrument designed to awaken consciousness. The scene is filled with a soft golden glow from the setting sun, casting long shadows as the ruins seem to come alive, a reminder that these structures were not just built to house the body, but to awaken the soul to the dream of the cosmos. The god Atum, drifting alone in the endless waters of chaos before time began, surrounded by swirling cosmic mist. As he dreams, light and air emerge from his mind, creating the first stirrings of the world. His breath forms the sky, his tears shape humanity, and the universe begins to take form as a reflection of his divine imagination. The scene is ethereal, the water shimmering with golden light, the first grains of sand appearing in the vast emptiness as Atum's dream shapes creation itself. Vishnu, the preserver, reclining on the cosmic serpent Ananta, floating on the infinite ocean of time. The lotus flower grows from his navel, and within it, the god Brahma emerges, the creator of the universe. As Vishnu dreams, entire worlds unfurl around him, each one a delicate vision within his slumber. The scene radiates a serene, timeless quality, with stars swirling above and the divine energy of creation gently pulsing through the cosmic waters, reflecting the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. An Aboriginal elder, standing at the edge of a vast, dreamlike landscape that stretches into eternity. The Dreamtime, represented by luminous rivers, glowing mountains, and radiant stars, weaves through the air. The elder's voice seems to vibrate with the power of song, calling the land into being. The scene blurs the lines between waking and dreaming, as the earth itself moves with the rhythm of ancient songs, echoing the living, ongoing dream of creation. The energy of the land and sky is connected by invisible threads, vibrating with life. A deep cave at the boundary between night and day, where Hypnos, the god of sleep, rests in the shadows. His presence fills the cave with a soft golden glow as he sends dreams to gods and mortals. The figures of gods like Zeus and Hera appear in the distance, their dreams forming the very fabric of the world. Storms whirl, nations rise, and the fates of men unfold all within the soft, hidden space of Hypnos' cave. The atmosphere is quiet and mysterious, the flow of time both eternal and fleeting within the realm of dreams. A cosmic scene where the universe itself is woven from threads of light and meaning, held together by the power of divine imagination. Galaxies swirl, stars are born, and planets form from the undulating rhythm of creation. The scene is alive with luminous energy, as if the entire cosmos is a vast dream unfurling within the mind of a sleeping god. The boundaries between reality and imagination blur, as the creation of worlds unfolds with each thought and breath of the dreamer. An ethereal divine figure surrounded by a vast, shifting dreamscape. Symbols of creation, birth, and balance appear within the landscape, including spirals, circles, and geometric patterns. The dreamer's face is peaceful, their eyes closed as they float through a glowing field of stars and light. The dream world is in constant motion, reshaping itself with each thought of the dreamer, reflecting the power of creation that lies within every soul. The figure seems both connected to the cosmos and separate, floating at the boundary between waking and dreaming. A vast ocean under a starry sky, where countless reflections of human faces float upon the water's surface. Each face is a unique representation of the same divine consciousness, scattered across the endless sea. The faces shimmer, merging and splitting as the water ripples, symbolizing the unity of all souls within the great dreamer. The scene exudes a sense of eternity, where each individual is both separate and part of the whole, caught in the endless cycle of creation and reflection. An ancient temple with columns reaching into the sky, surrounded by a deep, meditative silence. Inside, initiates sit in deep contemplation, their eyes closed as they enter a trance-like state. In the center of the temple, a glowing mirror reflects not their physical forms, but their spiritual essence, a cosmic vision of existence, where the dreamer and the dream are intertwined. The scene is bathed in soft golden light, symbolizing the awakening of the soul to the eternal truth that all is one. A hermetic philosopher, standing before an ancient scroll, their hands raised as if drawing the symbols of the universe. The cosmos unfolds in front of them, a swirling dance of stars and light, all existing within the mind of the One. As the philosopher gazes upon this divine design, their own reflection appears in the stars, showing that each human is both part of and the creator of the cosmos. The imagery is mystical and transcendent, blurring the line between self and the greater whole. A peaceful scene of a figure lying on a bed, caught in the moment between sleep and waking. Their body lies still, while their mind floats freely through a vast, dreamlike landscape. The dreamer observes both themselves and the world around them, embodying both the observer and the observed. The landscape is filled with ethereal shimmering light, representing the sense of oneness and awareness that bridges the waking world and the dream world. This quiet, serene moment holds the key to understanding the divine unity within. A mirrored reflection of a dreamer in an ancient pool of water, where their face merges with the reflection of a cosmic being. The water ripples, creating a shifting mirror between the physical and spiritual realms. The dreamer's eyes are wide open in awareness, symbolizing the realization that both the dream and the dreamer are part of the same eternal consciousness. The surrounding environment is a blend of natural elements, mountains, rivers, and skies that represent the infinite possibilities within the dream. A large, ancient scroll unfurling with glowing symbols of divine light and shadow. The symbols represent the unseen patterns of the mind, spiritual geometry, sacred numbers, and abstract shapes carrying the weight of human consciousness. At the scroll's center, a radiant figure sits, meditating, embodying the unity between waking and sleeping worlds. The surrounding imagery is filled with the vibrations of the universe, representing the sacred resonance that connects all beings in a shared, eternal dream. A grand library, filled with ancient scrolls and tomes, where philosophers and physicians of the Enlightenment sit at desks, surrounded by candles and ink pots. One scholar, seated under a dim lamp, pores over a collection of dream interpretations. In the background, the transition from ancient temples to scientific inquiry is depicted, as priests are replaced by figures in lab coats. The scene is filled with a quiet tension between the sacred mysteries of dreams and the analytical mindset of reason, a moment of profound change in the way humanity perceives the unseen. Sigmund Freud, sitting in a study filled with books and papers, looks thoughtfully at a diagram of the unconscious mind. In his hand, a small amulet lies untouched, replaced by ink and paper as he drafts his theories. The room around him shifts between the mystical and the scientific on one wall, symbols of dreams and the subconscious, while on another, the rigid structure of charts and calculations begins to emerge. A faint light seems to pulse around him, symbolizing the shift from divine dreams to the interpretation of desires and hidden thoughts. A laboratory scene from the 1950 seconds, where scientists in white coats observe the flickering of brainwaves on a screen. Electrodes are attached to the head of a sleeping subject, whose eyes move beneath closed lids in the early stages of REM sleep. The sterile surroundings contrast with the mysterious image of a dream world that floats above the subject's head, where fragmented symbols, like broken clocks and swirling shapes, appear, representing the ancient link between the dream state and the unknown forces of the mind. The room is bathed in a cold, clinical light, yet there is a sense of wonder lingering in the air. A vast, ethereal landscape of a dream world, where symbols of the subconscious spirals, keys, and masks appear and dissolve like wisps of smoke. In the distance, a figure stands, watching as a great wheel of time spins, with moments of clarity and confusion blurring around them. This realm is both familiar and surreal, as if the landscape itself is alive, weaving emotions and memories into a complex tapestry. Above, celestial bodies spin, their light dimming and brightening in harmony with the pulse of the dreamer's heart, symbolizing the unseen forces that shape the mind and the dream. A scientist in a dimly lit lab, gazing at a screen that displays a series of neural patterns as electrodes capture the brain's activity. The scientist's face is illuminated by the soft glow of the machine, but their expression shows a hint of doubt, as if haunted by the mystery that still eludes understanding. Around the screen, faint visions of ancient dream symbols, serpents, eyes, and stars flicker like ghosts, as if the ancient and modern worlds are overlapping. The scene is filled with tension, as though the scientist is on the cusp of discovering something profound yet intangible. A dreamer lying in bed, their eyes closed, yet they are fully aware of their surroundings, caught between sleep and wakefulness. In their mind, the room dissolves into a cosmic space filled with floating symbols, keys, doors, and pathways, all representing the journey through the unseen. Above the dreamer, a translucent figure of a deity or ancient god watches over, their eyes reflecting the vastness of the dreamer's mind. The room around them is both familiar and shifting, a blend of reality and dream, symbolizing the thin veil between the two worlds. A Tibetan monk in deep meditation, sitting cross-legged in a high Himalayan monastery, surrounded by the soft glow of candles. The air is thick with quiet energy as the monk breathes in sync with the ancient rhythms of the universe. Above the monk, a series of subtle waves representing brain activity radiate outward, mirroring the flow of REM sleep. The background is filled with symbols of the cosmos, reminding the viewer that through controlled breath, the monk bridges the waking world with the dream realm. As ancient wisdom aligns with modern discovery, inside an ancient Egyptian temple, priests prepare for dream incubation, standing in narrow stone corridors. Their bodies are cleansed, and they fast, their faces serene as they prepare to enter a deep state of meditation. Above them, the faint outline of celestial bodies aligns with the architecture, creating a perfect harmony between the earthly and the divine. The temple's acoustics seem to hum with a low-frequency resonance, symbolizing the way ancient builders mapped human consciousness through sacred space, guiding the initiates into a liminal state where healing and insight await. A modern laboratory where a subject lies on a bed, electrodes attached to their scalp, as a scientist observes the data on a screen. The subject is in a lucid dream, their heart rate slowing and cortisol levels dropping, while light and symbols emanate from their body. Around them, ancient images of Asclepius and Imhotep appear, symbolizing the convergence of modern science and ancient wisdom. The air seems charged with energy as the subject's body responds to the healing power of the dream, bridging the old and new worlds of knowledge and healing. A vast, surreal dreamscape where the figure of a shaman stands surrounded by spirals, serpent symbols, and cosmic light. The dreamer's body is connected to the landscape through a glowing thread, symbolizing the integration of emotion and memory during REM sleep. Around the shaman, fragments of past trauma and pain swirl, only to be reassembled into a coherent narrative, reflecting the healing process that occurs during dreaming. The landscape shifts and undulates like a living entity, representing the restoration of order from chaos in the mind's deepest corners. A cosmic representation of the universe as a vast dream, woven together by threads of light and consciousness. At the center, a figure stands with arms outstretched, embodying both the observer and the observed. Around them, galaxies form and dissolve, stars are born and fade, all controlled by the mind's perception. This scene mirrors the quantum theories that suggest consciousness shapes reality, an ancient truth echoing in modern physics. The dreamer is both the dream and the dreamer, symbolizing the unity between thought, creation, and existence itself. A serene hospital recovery room filled with ambient light and soothing sounds. The patient, lying in a bed, is gently breathing in sync with the rhythm of temple chants. The air around them glows with a soft golden light, symbolizing the healing power of dreams and visualization. Above the patient's head, faint images of dream symbols, light, energy, and sacred geometry float like reflections of the subconscious mind. The scene emphasizes the harmony between ancient practices and modern healing techniques, where science has rediscovered the sacred rhythm of the mind. A vast cosmic landscape where the boundary between dream and reality is unclear. Stars and planets blend with swirling, translucent forms of human figures. A figure stands at the edge of a shimmering river that flows between two realms, one filled with vibrant dreams, the other with a world of waking life. The figure looks out across the river, sensing the illusory nature of both worlds, their reflections shimmering as a faint echo of the cosmos. The air is filled with a quiet hum, symbolizing the subtle interconnectedness between consciousness and the universe. A serene temple courtyard at twilight, where a mystic sits cross-legged in meditation, on the threshold between sleep and wakefulness. In the space around them, faint symbols of creativity, a glowing periodic table, poetry, and abstract images begin to take form from the air. The temple itself seems to breathe, its stone walls shifting and bending in response to the dreamer's thoughts. The mystic's eyes are half closed, caught between two worlds, as the boundary between waking and dreaming dissolves, revealing the unity of all states of consciousness. An artist in a dimly lit study, hunched over a canvas as visions of another world take shape before their eyes. The air around them hums with inspiration, as they paint what appears to be an entirely new reality, a vision they saw in a dream. The dream's imagery, swirling in bright colours and abstract shapes, blends seamlessly with the waking world. As the artist paints, the boundary between their imagination and reality blurs, revealing that the act of creation is a bridge between the two realms. A figure walking through a foggy landscape, where the laws of nature bend and twist. The sky above ripples like the surface of water, and the trees shift between solid forms and ethereal silhouettes. The figure is aware of the illusion, sensing that the world is not fixed but fluid, like a lucid dream. Their footsteps leave glowing imprints in the ground, symbolizing the recognition of the dreamlike nature of the world. The scene captures the eerie yet enlightening moment when the waking world begins to feel as malleable as a dream. A philosopher standing at the edge of a deep cavern, gazing into the distance. The cave walls are lined with symbols of ancient wisdom, spirals, keys, and geometric patterns, all representing the interconnectedness between thought, dream, and reality. Above the philosopher's head, a vision of the universe as a dream unravels, with swirling galaxies and forms made of light. The philosopher is caught between two worlds, contemplating the idea that the universe itself may be a dream, both a creation and a reflection of consciousness. A peaceful night scene where a person lies in bed, drifting into sleep, their consciousness expanding outward. The room around them begins to dissolve, revealing a vast, starry expanse where the boundaries of self and sky blur. The person floats, aware of the illusion of both waking and dreaming. Above them, symbols of light, time, and energy swirl, representing the merging of these two states. The image evokes the feeling of remembering the eternal nature of consciousness, where waking and sleeping are one continuous flow of awareness. A Siberian shaman sitting cross-legged in a dimly lit forest, surrounded by ethereal lights and shadows. The shaman's spirit, in the form of an eagle, soars above the earth, the body remaining still as the soul journeys through unseen realms. Below, the dense forest fades into a surreal landscape filled with ancestral spirits and cosmic energies. The scene captures the shaman's sacred flight through the underworld and sky, where the boundaries of the material and spiritual worlds blur into a vast, infinite expanse. An ancient Egyptian temple illuminated by soft golden light. Inside, priests and priestesses lie on ceremonial stone beds, their bodies asleep while their souls travel through the Duat, the realm of the dead. As the dreamers journey through darkness, fire, and water, they encounter gods and spirits who guide them. Above them, a cosmic map unfolds, tracing the soul's path through the afterlife. The architecture of the temple mirrors the structure of the universe, where the boundaries between life, death, and the dream world dissolve. A peaceful modern-day scene where a subject, lying in bed, experiences an out-of-body experience. Their spirit floats above their body, observing their surroundings with clear awareness. Below, their physical body remains undisturbed, while the floating soul looks down with a sense of calm clarity. The room is softly illuminated, and the sense of separation between body and spirit is palpable. A subtle glow surrounds the spirit, symbolizing the deep connection between mind, body, and the vast unknown. A group of scientists in a modern laboratory observing a subject as they undergo an out-of-body experience. The room is filled with scientific equipment and glowing monitors, yet the subject's spirit rises above their body, surrounded by glowing orbs of light. In the background, ancient symbols of the soul's journey, spirals, wings, and gateways appear, blending science and mysticism. The experience is illuminated by a soft, ethereal light, representing the connection between the ancient traditions and modern exploration of consciousness. A surreal dreamscape where a figure floats above a vast cosmic expanse. The figure's body is still, lying peacefully, while their soul journeys through the stars, passing by swirling galaxies and glowing nebulae. The scene evokes a sense of wonder and timelessness as the soul drifts through infinite dimensions. Light and dark blend together, representing the eternal dance of the material and immaterial worlds. This journey symbolizes the limitless potential of consciousness to travel beyond the physical body, into realms unseen. An ancient map of the soul's journey, drawn in intricate detail. The map shows paths leading through realms of light and darkness, spirals, and gateways that represent the mystical landscapes navigated by shamans and mystics. The map is dotted with symbols representing ancient wisdom, serpents, birds, and stars that guide the soul's path through both the material world and the unseen dimensions. The edges of the map glow with a soft, golden light, symbolizing the timeless nature of these journeys, passed down through generations. A tranquil scene in ancient Greece, where the god Morpheus, cloaked in shadow, enters the dream of a sleeping warrior. The figure of Achilles lies on a stone bed, his body still as the dream messenger appears before him, taking the form of a mythical creature. The atmosphere is charged with divine energy, as the message from the gods manifests as an ethereal light, glowing with foreboding omens. The dream is not merely an illusion, it is a powerful communication, warning the warrior of his fate on the battlefield. A regal scene in ancient Egypt, where Pharaoh Djoser lies peacefully asleep in the grand hall of his palace. In his dream, a powerful god appears, offering instructions for the construction of the step pyramid. The dream is vivid, the god's form glowing with divine energy. Around the dreamer, the air shimmers with the weight of the vision. The pyramid itself begins to rise from the dreamscape, a monumental symbol of eternal wisdom. The message is clear. The gods speak directly to the rulers through the realm of dreams, shaping the future of Egypt. A Sumerian priestess sleeps in a sacred temple, her body lying on a stone platform surrounded by flickering incense. Above her, a vision unfolds. Gods appear in the swirling mist, delivering messages for the city. The dream is filled with symbols, an eagle soaring above a city, a serpent coiled around a river, and a divine figure pointing towards the stars. As the priestess awakens, she is guided by these visions, interpreting their meaning to protect her people. The scene conveys the sacred bond between dreamers and divine messengers in ancient Sumer. A Zulu shaman sits cross-legged under a tree in the African savanna, deep in trance as the night sky stretches above. In his dream, ancestors appear as glowing figures, offering guidance in the form of symbolic images, rivers flowing, trees growing, animals walking across the horizon. The air hums with ancestral wisdom, and the dreamer feels an intimate connection to the past. The dreamscape is a living entity, where the boundary between the spiritual world and the physical world vanishes. The scene represents the ongoing dialogue between the living and the deceased, a bridge built through dreams. A modern-day dreamer lies in bed, eyes closed, surrounded by soft, glowing light. In the dream, they are visited by a figure of light, an ancestor or guide who speaks with clarity and purpose. The figure's form is translucent, emanating wisdom and warmth, as they impart a message of importance. The dreamer's face is serene, and the surroundings are calm, with the edges of the room blurring into a dreamlike space. The figure's words linger in the air like echoes, reminding the dreamer of their deeper connections to the unseen world. A surreal landscape, where a dreamer walks through a mist-filled forest, encountering shadowy figures who appear as ancestors, gods, or forgotten parts of themselves. The dreamer's path is illuminated by soft, glowing light, as the figures communicate through gestures and symbols, sharing ancient wisdom. The forest is filled with symbols of the divine, the moon, stars, and spirals, all resonating with the dreamer's journey. The atmosphere is filled with both mystery and clarity, representing the powerful connection between the dreamer and the messengers from other realms. A shaman seated on the ground in a dimly lit forest, taking a deep, grounding breath as they begin the return from their spirit journey. The dream world lingers in the air around them, as ethereal mist swirls in the fading light of dawn. Their body is still, but their spirit is slowly reintegrating with the physical, reconnecting with the earth beneath them. The scene is serene, yet charged with a quiet power, symbolizing the delicate transition between the spiritual and the earthly realms as the dreamer re-enters their waking life. An Egyptian initiate, lying on a stone slab inside a dark chamber, prepares to return from the Duat, the realm of the dead. The walls are adorned with intricate hieroglyphs, and faint light filters through narrow openings, symbolizing the transition between the underworld and the physical world. The initiate's eyes are closed, their body still, as they breathe deeply to ground their spirit before re-entering their earthly form. The air around them glows softly, symbolizing the purification and integration of the dream knowledge into the waking life. A dreamer lying in bed, eyes fluttering open, surrounded by the fading echoes of a vivid dream. The room is gently illuminated by morning light, and the dreamer is still surrounded by the ethereal images of the dream, the swirling shapes, symbols, and colors that float around them like a mist. The dream's influence lingers, transforming the waking world as the dreamer slowly returns to reality, carrying with them a sense of transformation. The boundary between the dream and the waking world is thin, as the dreamer becomes aware of the deeper connections between the two. A scene in a modern home, where a person, recently awakened from a profound dream, stands by a window looking out at the world. The early light of dawn bathes the scene, and the dreamer's expression is one of quiet contemplation. The dream's impact is visible in their posture, as they stand taller, more aware, as if something within them has shifted. The room around them seems slightly more alive, the edges of reality subtly blurred, as though the dream has left a lasting imprint on the waking world, reframing their perception of life. A neurobiologist in a laboratory, surrounded by monitors displaying brainwaves and EEG patterns. The scientist looks at a screen with intense focus, while in the background, the dreamer's mind is shown as a swirling network of symbols and light. As the dreamer returns from their sleep, the brain's patterns shift, representing the integration of the dream experience into waking consciousness. The scene blends science and mysticism, showing the process of the mind organizing and grounding the dream knowledge, symbolizing the return from the dream and the transformation it brings. A cosmic scene showing a figure standing on the edge of a vast, swirling galaxy. Their body is still, but their spirit is soaring, with glowing threads of light connecting them to distant stars and realms. As they descend back into the physical world, they carry with them the wisdom of the universe. The stars above begin to fade, replaced by the tangible world below, where the dreamer's feet touch the earth once again. The transition from the dream realm to waking life is depicted as a cosmic dance, where the dreamer returns changed, aware of their connection to the infinite. A Shipibo shaman standing by a ceremonial fire, singing the sacred time's Icaros asterisk, as the air around them shimmers with ethereal energy. The jungle responds, its trees vibrating with the rhythm of the song. The dreamer, seated nearby, enters a trance, their spirit rising above their body as they journey through a portal into the spirit world. The scene is illuminated by the flickering firelight and the glowing aura of the shaman's voice, creating a surreal atmosphere where the boundary between worlds dissolves and the dreamer's spirit begins its sacred journey. A nighttime ceremonial scene in the Amazon, where the forest hums with life. A group of tribal members gathers around a blazing fire, their bodies still as they prepare for the sacred journey. The air is thick with the scent of burning herbs and the soft hum of the time's Icaros times weaving through the jungle. The dreamer's spirit floats above, guided by ancestral spirits and the power of ayahuasca, as they descend into the layers of their soul, facing their fears and shedding old burdens. The jungle, alive with magic, watches over them as a teacher and guide. A vivid vision unfolding within a dreamer's mind during a sacred ceremony. The dreamer's consciousness is immersed in a surreal landscape of light and shadow, where powerful animal spirits and ancient figures emerge from the depths of the jungle. The air is alive with vibrant colors, representing the transformative power of ayahuasca as it dissolves the veil between worlds. The dreamer is engaged in a dance with the shadow, encountering their deepest fears and their hidden strengths, as the jungle's wisdom unfolds around them. A group of Amazonian tribe members sitting in a circle around a sacred fire, their faces illuminated by its warm glow. Above them, the sky is filled with swirling, luminous patterns, visions and symbols from the spirit world, reflecting the dreams of the tribe. The jungle comes alive, with birds and animals in the distance, and the sounds of nature blending with the time's Icaros chimes that hum through the air. The dreamers are not alone. Their ancestors and spirits of the jungle guide them in their collective journey, creating a web of interconnected wisdom. An Amazonian healer, interpreting a dream, surrounded by sacred symbols and the soft light of candles. The dreamer, lying before them, recounts a vision of sickness or abundance. Above the healer's head, ancient symbols and vibrant images from the dream appear in the air, radiating with energy. The scene captures the healer's deep focus and the power of the dream as it is shared with the community, highlighting the collective nature of dreams and their profound impact on the well-being of the tribe. A peaceful, mystical scene at the edge of the Amazon rainforest at dawn, where a dreamer, having awoken from a transformative journey, sits on the earth, grounding themselves as the sun rises. The fire is still glowing softly behind them, and the jungle around them is alive with early morning sounds. The dreamer's body is still, but their spirit has returned, carrying with it the wisdom and lessons of the night. The mist rising from the earth symbolizes the lingering connection between the dreamer and the natural world, as they integrate their journey into their waking life. A Tibetan monk seated in meditation in a quiet temple high in the Himalayas, surrounded by snow-capped peaks. The soft light of a distant sunrise bathes the scene, and the monk's body is still as their mind begins to shift into a dream state. Above them, a vivid, glowing visualization begins to form a celestial landscape of mountains, rivers, and skies, all emanating from their mind. The dream world is an extension of their consciousness, a living, breathing reality they can shape with their thoughts. The air is thick with spiritual energy, symbolizing the transition from waking to lucid dreaming. A Tibetan monk in the early hours of the morning, sitting cross-legged in a candle-lit room, deep in meditation. Their faces serene, eyes closed in focused concentration. As they breathe, their aura begins to glow, and subtle images of mountains, animals, and stars begin to form around them, representing the mental anchor they've created to guide them into the dream state. The temple is quiet, with the sound of the wind gently rustling outside, as the monk prepares to enter the dream realm with full awareness, holding the intention of gaining wisdom and insight. A surreal scene within a lucid dream, where the dreamer, fully aware, stands in a vast, ever-shifting landscape. Mountains rise and dissolve before their eyes, rivers bend and reshape with a single thought, and celestial bodies move at the dreamer's will. The dreamer is both the observer and the creator, fully conscious of their power to shape the dream. The scene is filled with swirling energy, symbolizing the realization that the world around them is a creation of their own mind, as they explore the paradox of being both the dreamer and the dreamed. A Tibetan monk in deep meditation, their consciousness expanding into the vastness of the cosmos. As they drift into a lucid dream, the sky above them opens into a starry expanse, filled with constellations and swirling galaxies. The monk moves effortlessly through this cosmic landscape, their mind free to explore the mysteries of the universe. The dream state becomes a sacred space where time, space, and form dissolve, and the monk experiences firsthand the impermanence of all things, symbolized by the shifting stars and celestial bodies around them. A vivid dreamscape representing the impermanence of all things, where the dreamer observes the fleeting nature of their surroundings. Trees, mountains, and rivers materialize and dissolve in moments, symbolizing the transitory nature of existence. The dreamer stands at the center, observing without attachment, as the landscape shifts and changes around them. The scene is bathed in ethereal light, with symbols of enlightenment and transcendence appearing in the fluid, ever-changing environment. This reflects the Tibetan belief that the dream state teaches detachment from the illusion of permanence in waking life. A luminous cosmic landscape where the dreamer, aware of their consciousness, journeys through realms of light and shadow. The dreamer floats effortlessly through a vast open space, encountering divine beings and universal wisdom. The environment is filled with symbols of the interconnectedness of all things, spirals, circles, and radiant energy, representing the belief that the dream world is a portal to cosmic knowledge. The dreamer's journey is illuminated by a soft, golden glow, symbolizing the pursuit of enlightenment and the expansion of consciousness through dream yoga. The ancient Greek Asclepius temple at night, bathed in moonlight, with stone columns and sacred halls filled with the scent of incense. Inside, a group of people sleep on stone beds, their bodies still, but their spirits journeying through the dream realm. Priests of Asclepius stand nearby, their eyes closed in meditation, ready to interpret the dreams of the sick. Above, the god Asclepius himself descends, his form radiant with healing light, guiding the dreamers toward restoration. The sacred energy of the temple vibrates with the divine presence, symbolizing the deep connection between sleep and spiritual healing. A medieval Christian monk, seated alone in a quiet, candle-lit chamber within a monastery, prepares for sleep. Before lying down, he recites a psalm, his hands raised in prayer, as a soft glow emanates from the candlelight. The room is filled with spiritual calm, and the monk's face is serene. Above him, his dream world begins to take shape, a vision of divine revelation. Angels and celestial beings appear, whispering messages of truth and guidance, as the monk's soul prepares to commune with God in his sleep. The atmosphere reflects the sacred devotion to sleep as a spiritual practice, transcending the body's rest. A vibrant scene during the Renaissance, where a philosopher, possibly René Descartes, stands by a window looking out over a peaceful European city. His mind is deep in thought, contemplating the nature of reality and dreams. In front of him, the night sky is filled with swirling cosmic patterns, representing the philosophical question of whether life itself could be a dream. The city below seems to fade into the background, as if reality itself is an illusion. The image captures the moment of intellectual and spiritual inquiry, where the boundary between waking life and dreams is questioned. A quiet monastery in the early hours of dawn, where a group of monks sit in a circle, each with a dream journal in hand, recording their nocturnal visions. The room is filled with soft candlelight and the sound of gentle murmurs, as the monks reflect on their dreams that they believe are messages from God. Above them, symbolic visions of the divine appear in the air, angels, holy symbols, and radiant light. The monks' connection to their dreams is sacred, as they seek to understand the divine will through the language of sleep and dreams. Sigmund Freud, seated in a modern study, pores over a notebook filled with dream symbols and notes. The walls of the room are lined with books on psychology, but floating in the air around him are surreal images from the unconscious mind, fragmented symbols, faces, and emotions swirling like a living dream. The scene symbolizes Freud's exploration of dreams as the expression of repressed desires, showing the intersection of science and mysticism. Above, the night sky is filled with fragmented stars, representing the dream as a map of the unconscious, guiding Freud toward understanding the mind. Carl Jung, standing in a quiet study surrounded by ancient books and manuscripts, contemplates the archetypes and collective unconscious. Above him, images of dream symbols such as the mandala, the serpent, and the sun emerge from the swirling air, representing the deeper layers of the psyche. The room around him fades into a dreamlike landscape, where past and present converge. Jung's eyes are focused, seeking insight into the universal truths shared by all humanity, as the dream world begins to merge with waking consciousness. The scene symbolizes the journey into the collective unconscious through dreams and symbols. A scene inside an ancient Egyptian temple, where the walls are covered with intricate hieroglyphs, each one a symbol representing different facets of the human soul's journey. In the center, a high priest stands before a large stone tablet, interpreting the dream of a noble. Above, the gods Ra, Osiris, and Anubis appear as luminous figures, each symbolizing aspects of the human experience. The sacred energy of the temple vibrates with the power of these symbols, as the dreamer and the interpreter engage in a divine conversation through the language of images and archetypes. A Sumerian onirocritic, seated in a sacred space filled with clay tablets, carefully deciphers the dream of a king. Around them, symbols float in the air, serpents, broken vessels, and flowing rivers, all representing the hidden meanings within the dream. The walls of the temple shimmer with ancient light, reflecting the divine connection between the dreamer and the gods. The one-iro-critic's face is focused, their hands moving over the dream symbols as they seek to decode the message that will guide the future of the kingdom. In the Greek temple of Asclepius, a group of people sleep on marble beds, their dreams manifesting as vivid visions above them. The gods and ancestors appear in ethereal form, communicating directly with the dreamers. The temple is bathed in soft moonlight, and the air is filled with the sound of prayers and the rhythmic chanting of priests. Above the sleepers, symbols of healing and divine messages float: serpents coiling around staffs, wings of light, and radiant orbs, all representing the sacred language of the dream world that bridges the divine and the human. Carl Jung, seated in a quiet study surrounded by books, contemplates a dream journal. The journal is open to a page filled with vivid archetypal symbols: lions, trees, shadows, and light. Above the journal, these symbols float, becoming larger and more tangible as Jung's mind explores the collective unconscious. The scene blends the personal and the universal, as the dream symbols stretch beyond time and culture, representing the deep underlying structures of the psyche that connect all humans. A surreal scene inside the mind of a dreamer, where symbols and images, fragments of memory, emotion, and experience form a complex tapestry. The brain is represented as a vast, glowing network, with symbols such as animals, figures, and landscapes emerging from the neural pathways. The dreamer's thoughts are woven together in a coherent narrative, revealing the brain's active process of creating meaning during sleep. The dream is not random but a story being told, a deeper structure emerging from the unconscious mind, all illuminated by the soft glow of inner understanding. A cosmic landscape where the dreamer's spirit floats through a vast expanse, guided by luminous symbols. The symbols of the subconscious: snakes, stars, and spirals dance in the air, each one representing a deeper layer of reality. The dreamer drifts through the scene, fully aware that they are the creator of this dream world, yet also a part of it. The landscape shifts and reforms, symbolizing the ongoing process of self-discovery and cosmic exploration, as the dreamer navigates the universal language of images that connects them to the greater story of existence. A dramatic scene set in ancient Egypt, where the young Joseph, son of Jacob, stands before his brothers. Above, a celestial vision unfolds: 11 stars, the sun and the moon bow down to him, just as he dreamed in his youth. The air is filled with a divine glow as the vision comes to life, showing that Joseph's dream was not merely a fantasy, but a prophecy. His brothers stand in awe and confusion, the weight of the divine message reverberating through the scene, as Joseph's fate begins to unfold before them. In the court of King Nebuchadnezzar, the troubled king stands before his dream interpreters, his face filled with frustration. Above him, Daniel, the prophet, calmly interprets the king's dream, revealing the rise and fall of empires. The dreamscape above the king's head is filled with symbols: rising mountains, falling stars, and images of kings and warriors representing the prophetic vision. The air around Daniel glows with divine insight, as the future of kingdoms and empires unfolds through the sacred language of dreams. The Oracle of Delphi, seated on a stone seat in a dark, sacred chamber, is surrounded by mist and the faint glow of firelight. She is in a deep trance, her body still as the visions of the gods flood her mind. Above her, divine symbols: an eagle, a snake, a laurel wreath float in the air, representing messages from Apollo. The air hums with sacred energy as the oracle's dreams are interpreted as divine revelations, holding the power to shape political decisions and alter the course of history. A Roman emperor, Augustus, sits in a grand palace chamber, his gaze turned inward as he dreams of a son destined to bring a new era. The dream appears above him, a vision of a child, radiant and powerful, surrounded by celestial light. The empire around him fades into shadows, symbolizing the divine power that guides Augustus's decisions. The scene glows with the belief that dreams are not just messages, but divine signs sent to those in power, guiding them toward decisions that will shape the fate of an empire. A medieval abbess, Hildegard of Bingen, kneels in prayer in her convent, eyes closed as a divine vision unfolds before her. Above her, rich symbols and celestial beings appear, representing the prophetic dreams she receives from God. Her hands are outstretched, and the air around her is filled with swirling energy as she receives the divine messages. The imagery is rich with symbolic representations of the divine, reflecting the deep connection between dreams, faith, and divine revelation during the medieval mystical tradition. A modern-day individual lies in bed, their eyes closed in deep sleep. Above them, ethereal visions unfold an image of a world event, a catastrophe, or a significant moment in time that has yet to occur. The dreamer's face is calm, yet their connection to the universe seems profound. The visions are portrayed in soft, glowing hues, with hints of celestial light and shadow, symbolizing the power of prophetic dreams that transcend time, space, and personal understanding. The scene invites reflection on the continuing mystery of dreams and their potential to foretell future events. A dreamer lying peacefully in bed, surrounded by swirling, luminous symbols and vibrant landscapes that reflect the infinite possibilities of the dream world. Above the dreamer, a vivid scene unfolds where they shape the world with their thoughts. A forest springs to life, a river flows, and mountains rise at their command. The dreamer's eyes are closed, but their mind is active, painting the canvas of the dream with intention and focus. The scene embodies the idea that the dreamer is both the creator and the witness of their own reality, shaping the dream world as they sleep. A vibrant scene of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh lying on a stone bed, surrounded by glowing hieroglyphs and divine symbols. In his dream, the gods appear, guiding him toward his destiny. The dream world is depicted as a landscape that shifts and changes. With the pharaoh's thoughts, vast temples rise, rivers flow, and celestial bodies move according to his will. The scene illustrates the ancient belief that dreams were not passive experiences, but active creations that shaped the future and connected the dreamer to divine forces. The god Morpheus, draped in flowing robes, stands at the center of a swirling dreamscape, shaping the destinies of mortals. Above him, images of heroes and warriors in the midst of pivotal moments, dreams that guide their actions during the Trojan War. The dream world is alive, shifting and bending with divine will. Morpheus's hand gestures, and the images in the dream respond, creating realities that influence the waking world. The scene captures the Greeks' understanding of dreams as powerful forces that could alter the course of history. Carl Jung, seated in a meditative posture, gazes at an open journal filled with vivid dream symbols, archetypes like the hero, the shadow, and the anima. Around him, the symbols float and interact, becoming alive with energy. The dream world is portrayed as a dynamic, living space, where the unconscious mind creates vivid scenarios that speak to the deepest layers of the self. The air around Jung is filled with radiant light, representing his understanding of dreams as powerful reflections of the unconscious mind that shape our waking reality. A dreamer, deep in sleep, begins to manifest their desires in the dream world. With focused intention, a city rises from the earth, buildings tower, and a glowing path emerges, representing the dreamer's ability to create their world. The dream world is fluid, with the dreamer at the center, actively shaping their surroundings. The scene glows with the energy of creation, illustrating the idea that dreams are not just reflections of the mind, but active creations, where the dreamer wields the power to build and shape their own reality. A vast cosmic dreamscape, where the dreamer floats through an ever-expanding universe of stars, galaxies, and symbols. The dreamer's consciousness stretches beyond the limits of time and space, interacting with celestial forces and creating new worlds with each thought. The dream is a sandbox, where the dreamer tests ideas, confronts fears, and shapes infinite possibilities. The scene is alive with energy, showing the vast potential of the unconscious mind and the power of the dreamer to create and transform the universe through their dreams. A factory scene from the Industrial Revolution, where workers toil under the harsh light of gas lamps and the rhythmic hum of machinery. The clock on the wall looms large, dictating the pace of life. The workers are bent over their tasks, their faces weary, while in the background, the ethereal silhouette of a dreamer lies in bed, drifting into the sacred space of sleep. The contrast between the mechanical world and the peaceful dreamscape represents the growing divide between productivity and the sacredness of rest. A peaceful rural village scene from before the Industrial Revolution, with a family gathered around a hearth at dusk. The setting sun casts a golden light, and the natural rhythms of day and night guide the household. A sleeping figure lies peacefully in bed, their dreams filled with symbolic images of spiritual communion and transformation. The surrounding environment is calm, filled with elements of nature and a soft, sacred glow, reflecting the harmony between sleep, nature, and the divine. Before the arrival of industrialized schedules, a scene of early electric light flooding a city street, with workers still toiling late into the night. The clock towers above, its hands pushing time forward relentlessly, while below, people stay awake, their eyes heavy but determined. The dream world feels distant, an unseen realm that calls out from behind the glowing city lights. The contrast between the electric-lit streets and the natural darkness beyond symbolizes the disruption of sleep as a sacred experience, replaced by the urgency of progress and productivity. A doctor's office in the early 20th century, with medical charts and brainwave monitors displayed prominently. The doctor examines a patient's sleep patterns on a glowing screen, analyzing the rhythms of their brain during rest. The room is clinical, yet the patient's mind is shown floating above their body, still connected to the dream realm. This juxtaposition highlights the shift from spiritual to scientific perspectives on sleep, as the dream world becomes something to be measured, controlled, and optimized. An artist in a dimly lit room, surrounded by unfinished works, sits with a thoughtful expression. In the background, the clock ticks loudly, symbolizing the pressure of industrial productivity. Above the artist's head, vivid, dreamlike visions swirl, representing the creative potential of the dream world. These visions contrast with the mechanical reality of the clock and the artist's looming deadlines, symbolizing the ongoing tension between the sacred space of sleep and the demands of modern life. A modern cityscape at night, bustling with activity under the glow of streetlights and neon signs. People rush through the streets, faces illuminated by their phone screens, disconnected from the natural rhythms of the night. In the distance, a solitary figure lies in bed, surrounded by dreamlike symbols of spiritual awakening and cosmic insight. The figure is bathed in a soft, ethereal light, representing the quiet resistance to the industrialization of sleep. The contrast between the restless city and the serene dream world symbolizes the yearning for reconnection with the sacred space of rest. A bustling city street filled with glowing streetlights and people walking with their heads down, eyes focused on glowing screens. The hum of the modern world is reflected in the distant glow of their devices, creating a wall of artificial light that drowns out the natural darkness of the night. Above, a dreamer lies in bed, eyes closed but disconnected from the dream world. The dreamscape above their head is faint and distant, with symbols and images fading into the shadows, representing the growing disconnect between the modern world and the sacred space of sleep. A person lying in bed at night, surrounded by a glowing circle of digital devices, smartphones, tablets, and computers casting blue light that fills the room. The figure's eyes are open, but they are not at rest, scrolling and checking notifications instead of drifting into sleep. The dream world is absent above them, symbolizing the fading connection to the subconscious. The scene contrasts the endless noise of the digital world with the quiet stillness that once allowed for rest, showing how modern life has interrupted the natural rhythm of sleep and dreams. A serene rural landscape at dusk, with the last glow of sunlight fading as villagers prepare for rest. A peaceful sleep ritual is unfolding. A family gathers for evening prayers, and one figure rests on a bed, their face relaxed and serene as they drift into sleep. Above them, a vibrant and luminous dreamscape fills the air, representing the rich spiritual connection with the unconscious mind. This scene evokes the ancient sacredness of sleep, contrasting the simplicity of nature's rhythms with the mechanical disruption of modern life. A dreamer lies in a bed surrounded by a chaotic urban landscape filled with towering skyscrapers, neon lights, and the constant glow of screens. The person is surrounded by flickering images of broken dreams, fragmented and scattered across the room. The dream world is depicted as hazy and distant, mirroring the overwhelming noise of modern life. The scene emphasizes the disconnection between the dreamer and their inner world, highlighting the emotional numbness that has resulted from the loss of sacred sleep rituals and the profound wisdom once found in dreams. A scene of a quiet retreat in nature, where a group of people gather in the stillness of the night to meditate and prepare for sleep. The air is thick with the scent of incense and the sound of gentle wind through the trees. Above them, the dream world emerges, vivid and alive, representing the return to sacred sleep rituals. Symbols of healing, wisdom, and transformation appear in the dreamscape, showing that the ancient connection between sleep and the soul is beginning to reawaken in modern times. A dreamer lying in bed in the quiet hours before dawn, their body still but their mind alive with vivid, transformative visions. The room is dark, except for the soft, ethereal glow of their dreams spilling out into the space above them. The dream world is rich with symbolic imagery, ancient archetypes, natural elements, and mystical beings representing the inner healing and spiritual growth that can occur through the dream state. The scene symbolizes the potential for reclaiming the sacredness of sleep and reconnecting with the deeper layers of consciousness. A darkened bedroom bathed in the soft glow of a smartphone screen. The figure in bed is illuminated by the screen's blue light, eyes focused on the device, their mind active and alert, while the dream world above them remains distant and faint. The room is quiet, but the digital distraction creates a barrier, preventing the figure from entering the peaceful space of rest. Above the figure, a hazy, unreachable dreamscape drifts, symbolizing the disconnect between the modern world and the sacred world of sleep. A person lying in bed, surrounded by glowing digital devices, smartphones, tablets, and a laptop, each screen casting blue light that disrupts the quiet of the night. The figure's mind is portrayed as a swirling mass of fragmented thoughts and notifications, pulling them further away from the restful state. The dream world, once vibrant and full of symbols, fades into a blur, symbolizing how technology has infiltrated the sacred space of sleep, preventing the dreamer from entering the peaceful realms of the unconscious. A serene dreamer sitting peacefully in a dimly lit room, the glowing light from a nearby screen casting long shadows. The figure is shown deep in thought, eyes closed, as their mind begins to journey into the dream world. Above them, the dreamscape is vivid, with symbols of healing and transformation, stars, swirling clouds, and ancient wisdom. The contrast between the peaceful open dream world and the looming presence of modern technology shows the struggle between inner stillness and digital distraction. A modern figure lying in bed, preparing for sleep, with a smartphone glowing faintly beside them. The room is dark, but the device pulls the figure's attention away from rest, while in the background, the dream world begins to emerge, a world of stars, spirits, and symbols. The dreamscape is faint and distant, symbolizing how technology creates a barrier to true rest and introspection. The scene contrasts the digital noise with the serene stillness of the dream world, illustrating the imbalance between the two. A figure sitting in a quiet, peaceful room, the soft glow of a candle lighting the space. They sit in meditation, preparing for sleep without the intrusion of screens. Above them, a vivid and clear dreamscape begins to take form, symbols of ancient knowledge, healing visions, and personal transformation unfold in the air. The scene shows the figure reconnecting with the natural rhythms of sleep, emphasizing the return to sacred practices and the stillness of the mind that allows the dream world to flourish. A person in a city apartment, their bed surrounded by glowing screens and devices, but they have turned them off. The figure is now lying in peaceful rest, eyes closed, as a serene and vibrant dreamscape unfolds around them. Mountains, rivers, and ancient symbols of wisdom and growth. The room, once filled with digital noise, is now quiet and still, allowing the dream world to fully manifest. This scene symbolizes the return to sleep as a sacred and transformative experience, free from the distractions of modern technology. A peaceful, dimly lit bedroom adorned with candles and incense, casting soft, flickering shadows. An individual in an ancient Eastern robe gently preparing for sleep by pouring warm herbal tea. A soft glow from the fire illuminating the room, evoking calmness and introspection. Symbols of tranquility, flowers, gentle swirling smoke are painted delicately across the scene, reflecting the sacred ritual of rest and the shift from wakefulness to dream. A figure in deep meditation, seated cross-legged in a forest clearing beneath a moonlit sky. Their mind, symbolized by a tranquil pool of water, reflects ethereal dreams filled with celestial symbols, swirling constellations, and floating divine messages. The serene atmosphere invites the viewer to witness the merging of inner stillness and the awakening of sacred visions. A grand, ancient dream journal laid open, its pages filled with intricate symbols and detailed depictions of visions, a sun setting behind mountains, a river of stars flowing across the page. The viewer sees a hand gently holding a quill, poised to write the dream that has just been remembered, capturing sacred wisdom and guidance from the unseen world. A serene, dreamlike landscape under a twilight sky, where a figure walks along a path lined with glowing flowers and softly shimmering mist. In the distance, a golden door stands ajar, revealing a realm of stars, a place where dreams and waking life are intertwined. This represents the journey of lucid dreaming, where the dreamer steps into a world of personal transformation and insight. A sacred, tranquil temple filled with soft light and filled with ancient artifacts. A figure, draped in flowing robes, lies on a bed of soft linens, surrounded by lush plants, candles, and incense. This peaceful ritual space signifies the honoring of sleep, a sanctuary where rest and renewal are deeply revered, evoking the sacred practice of preparing for a transformative sleep. An ethereal dreamscape where a figure floats in mid-air, surrounded by swirling constellations, celestial beings, and luminous symbols. The scene reflects the profound connection between dreams and reality, where the dreamer's consciousness moves freely between realms. The dreamer is not passive, but an active co-creator, shaping the world of dreams with intention, as stars swirl above and the fabric of reality weaves itself into being. A scene from ancient Egypt, where a pharaoh, adorned in regal attire, lies on a luxurious bed surrounded by flickering candles and incense. He is deep in sleep, and around him, visions of gods and cosmic symbols float, guiding his fate. The gods appear as ethereal beings, their forms interwoven with the stars, sending messages that shape the kingdom's destiny. A Native American warrior, seated by a campfire under a starlit sky, is immersed in a vivid dream of a buffalo herd. The dream world is alive with symbolism. Buffalo spirits swirl in the air, guiding him toward a future of abundance and strength. The transition from the dream to waking life is seamless, highlighting the sacred connection between dreams and reality. A dreamer, in a modern, serene bedroom, floats above their sleeping body. Their dreams swirl into vibrant patterns, symbols of creativity, innovation, and transformation. In the distance, scenes of famous breakthroughs, like Frankenstein's monster or the melody of Yesterday, materialize from the dreamscape, embodying the creative power that dreams have over the waking world. A lucid dreamer stands within a fantastical landscape of shifting realities, floating islands, endless stairways, and vibrant clouds that respond to their will. Their gaze is focused, manipulating the dream with intention, while a background of stars suggests the boundless creative potential of the mind. The scene illustrates the power of conscious control within dreams, as the dreamer reshapes their surroundings. A scene where dreamers are gathered in a circle, each holding a glowing orb representing their personal dreams. These orbs radiate with vibrant energy, intertwining with one another to form a shared vision. The interconnected orbs create a cosmic pattern above them, illustrating the idea that individual dreams, when united, weave together a collective reality. A dreamer steps from a peaceful dreamscape into the waking world, where the line between dream and reality blurs. The dreamer's shadow stretches into the waking world, transforming as it touches various aspects of their life, work, relationships, and personal growth, demonstrating the seamless interplay between inner imagination and outward action. An ancient Greek temple bathed in moonlight, where the god Morpheus, depicted as a divine figure with flowing robes, weaves the dreams of mortals. A dreamer lies in sacred slumber, their body surrounded by ethereal beings, gods, spirits, and celestial entities, all whispering cosmic wisdom that transcends earthly understanding. The dreamscape is a shimmering bridge between the physical world and the divine realms. The soul of an Egyptian noble drifts from their body in the stillness of night, traveling through the realm of gods and spirits. Hieroglyphic symbols of enlightenment and wisdom surround the dreamer, depicting divine beings who guide them toward profound knowledge. The scene illustrates dream incubation, where sacred rituals open gateways to the infinite, and the dreamer receives visions that shape the world. A peaceful Tibetan monastery nestled in the mountains, where monks meditate deeply, entering the lucid dream state. Their minds are depicted as glowing orbs, traveling through an abstract ethereal space filled with symbols of higher awareness and spiritual insight. The dreamscape opens into infinite realms of pure consciousness, where the ego dissolves and universal truths are revealed. A figure stands at the threshold of a dream world, holding an ancient book that glows with wisdom. Behind them, a vast cosmic landscape opens up endless stars, galaxies, and swirling nebulae that represent the infinite possibilities and realms beyond the waking world. The scene represents the collective unconscious, where all human knowledge, archetypes, and wisdom converge, awaiting the dreamer to access. A dreamer floats between the realms of sleep and wakefulness, their mind connected to a vast cosmic web. Above them, the stars pulse with life, each one a representation of deep spiritual truths and mysteries. A soft, ethereal glow surrounds the dreamer's body, symbolizing the blending of the material and spiritual worlds. Time and space collapse as the dreamer explores the infinite dimensions of existence. A dreamer sits in meditation within a deep, cosmic void, surrounded by swirling energy fields and shimmering galaxies. Their consciousness extends into the vastness of space, connecting to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Light from distant stars bathes the dreamer, symbolizing their journey through the realms of pure consciousness, where the boundaries of self and time dissolve, and the secrets of existence are revealed. A serene bedroom lit by soft candlelight and burning incense, where a person prepares for sleep. The figure practices an ancient sleep ritual, pouring warm tea into a cup as the room glows with tranquility. In the background, the soft light of a digital device rests on a table, symbolizing the blend of modern life with ancient wisdom. The peaceful scene captures the transition from the waking world to the dream realm. A figure sitting in peaceful meditation in a tranquil, candle-lit room, surrounded by symbols of spiritual awakening, crystals, incense, and soft, flowing fabrics. The scene illustrates the modern practice of mindfulness, where the individual calms their mind before sleep. Behind them, a glowing journal rests, open with pages filled with dreams, symbolizing the reclamation of sleep as a sacred ritual and gateway to transformation. An ethereal dreamscape where the dreamer, now aware they are dreaming, navigates through a vibrant world of surreal landscapes, floating islands, shifting skies, and glowing symbols. The dreamer's gaze is focused as they consciously control the dream environment, symbolizing lucid dreaming's potential for personal growth and self-discovery. The surrounding space glows with ancient wisdom, merging with the dreamer's transformative journey. A wise sage sits beneath a vast tree in a peaceful garden, meditating and awaiting sleep. Sacred teacups, incense, and soft pillows surround the figure. The tree, symbolizing growth and wisdom, has roots that stretch into a glowing dream realm, where visions of healing and insight flow upward, merging the inner and outer worlds. The scene honors the ancient tradition of sleep rituals as pathways to divine connection and transformation. A high-tech, futuristic bedroom, illuminated by soft, glowing sleep devices and monitors. A person reclines, surrounded by a blend of modern technology and ancient ritual elements. The scene evokes the balance between sleep-tracking devices and the deeper, spiritual aspects of sleep, where the individual finds peace amidst both wisdom and innovation, reconnecting with the ancient art of rest and personal reflection. A celestial scene where the dreamer floats among stars and galaxies, embodying the vast potential of sleep as a portal to the infinite. The dreamer's mind is a glowing orb, radiating wisdom and creative energy. Cosmic symbols of ancient traditions, Egyptian, Greek, and Eastern philosophies, are interwoven with the stars, signifying that the dream realm is not just a personal space, but a cosmic connection to universal truth and transformation. A visionary artist stands before a vast canvas, their brush strokes transforming the dream world into surreal, vibrant images, floating cities, impossible landscapes, and cosmic beings. The scene evokes the power of dreams as a source of artistic innovation, where the dreamer challenges the limits of reality and creates a new vision for the world, using the unconscious as a wellspring of creativity. In a dream-filled laboratory, a scientist stands surrounded by floating equations, symbols, and blueprints that come to life, visions of groundbreaking inventions, from Tesla's coils to Einstein's theory of relativity. The dreamer's mind connects the dots between the world of dreams and waking reality, pushing the boundaries of knowledge and invention to shape a harmonious future. A group of diverse individuals sit in a circle in a sacred space, each holding a glowing orb that represents their personal dreams. The orbs radiate light, weaving together into a collective vision, symbolizing the power of shared dreaming. The dreamers tap into the collective consciousness, working together to co-create a future built on unity, compassion, and wisdom. A spiritual leader stands at the edge of a vast, open field, their arms raised to the sky, receiving divine messages through their dreams. In the sky above them, ethereal figures, angels, ancestors, and sages descend, offering guidance to heal the wounds of the world. The scene embodies the role of dreamers as healers, offering wisdom and insight from the dream world to guide humanity toward peace and justice. A dreamer stands in a vast, starry expanse, their figure surrounded by glowing constellations and cosmic energy. Each star represents a collective dream, visions of the future, technological advancements, and global harmony intertwining into a unified vision of the new world. The dreamer gazes into the distance, embodying the idea that the future is shaped through vision and imagination. A dream circle of modern and ancient figures, from philosophers to artists, gathers under the shade of an ancient tree. Above them, the dream world opens like a vast, swirling vortex. Symbols, archetypes, and wisdom flow freely, merging the personal and collective unconscious. The dreamers work together, blending the insights of the past with the innovations of the future to guide humanity toward a more harmonious existence. A group of individuals from diverse backgrounds stand together in a circle, their hands extended toward the center, where a glowing orb pulses with vibrant energy. Each person's dream, symbols of hope, sustainability, and unity, radiates outward from the orb, blending to form a shared vision. This collective dream represents the power of unity, where individual visions merge into one transformative force. A peaceful landscape unfolds beneath a vast sky, where floating, ethereal dreamscapes weave together, representing the dreams of many individuals. Beneath the sky, people gather around a large tree whose branches stretch across the land, symbolizing the interconnectedness of all life. The scene captures the essence of listening to each other's dreams and recognizing that together, we shape the world we live in. A grand vision of a sustainable, harmonious world. Cities are integrated with nature, rivers flow clean, and people work together in peaceful unity. This image reflects the collective dream of a world where love, compassion, and cooperation drive progress, with the natural world flourishing alongside human innovation. Dreamers, seen in the foreground, shape this world with their collective visions. A dreamer stands before an open doorway that leads to a vast, luminous field. The sky above is filled with stars and ancient symbols of wisdom, while the land below reflects harmony and balance. This doorway represents the transition from individual dreams to the collective dream of a harmonious and interconnected world, guided by the wisdom of the earth and the dreams of humanity. A dream circle in a tranquil forest, where people are seated in meditation, sharing their visions. Above them, glowing symbols of nature, trees, rivers, and animals intertwine with abstract representations of human dreams. The scene reflects the idea of listening to both the dreams of individuals and the earth, where shared vision and reverence for the planet guide the collective path forward. A vibrant, interconnected world is depicted, where cities, forests, and oceans are in perfect balance. In the foreground, people of all ages come together to build a structure of light, a manifestation of collective dreaming. Each stone of the structure is made of symbols of dreams, unity, love, compassion, and environmental stewardship. The scene embodies the power of collective action driven by the shared dreams of a better future. A group of young dreamers stands together under a vast cosmic sky filled with stars and galaxies, each holding a glowing symbol of hope, a tree for nature, a heart for love, and a globe for unity. The scene reflects their shared vision for a harmonious world, where their dreams intertwine to form a radiant tapestry of interconnectedness, guiding the future with compassion and collective action. A digital landscape where young activists, connected through social media and technology, create a shared vision of change. Through virtual screens, they send out waves of light that carry their dreams and messages, such as climate, justice, and equality across the world. The energy from their connected visions creates a ripple effect, symbolizing how their collective dreams manifest in real-world movements and global campaigns. In a peaceful, sunlit space, a young dreamer sits in meditation, surrounded by symbols of nature and spiritual wisdom, flowers, trees, and ancient symbols. Their aura radiates with light, blending dreams with mindfulness practices. The scene illustrates the integration of personal dreams with collective well-being, showing how reconnecting with the inner self fosters a vision for a more balanced and compassionate world. A vibrant cityscape where young people work together to create a sustainable future, planting trees, building eco-friendly structures, and organizing community efforts. Above them, the sky is filled with floating symbols of peace, equality, and unity, representing the collective dreams of tomorrow. The scene captures the active role of the dreamers of tomorrow, transforming their dreams into tangible actions to heal and build a better world. A circle of young dreamers gathers around a glowing fire in the heart of a forest, sharing their visions for the future. Above them, the sky reveals a constellation of interconnected dreams, weaving together symbols of unity, sustainability, and justice. This gathering represents the power of collective dreaming, where shared ideas and dreams converge to create a unified vision for tomorrow's world. A young visionary stands on the edge of a cliff, gazing into the horizon where the sky is alive with radiant colors. The scene is filled with symbols of transformation, sunrise, waves of light, and flowing rivers. The dreamer's outstretched arms symbolize the awakening to their potential, embracing the infinite possibilities of the future. This image reflects the youthful spirit ready to shape the world with their dreams, guided by love, compassion, and action. A lush, vibrant landscape where humans and nature coexist in perfect harmony. A community planting trees in a flourishing forest, rivers flowing clean, and wildlife thriving. The scene is bathed in warm golden light, symbolizing the regenerative process of the earth, where humanity honors and nourishes the planet, and the cycles of life are revered as sacred. A young dreamer stands atop a mountain, gazing across a vast valley where regenerative agricultural practices are flourishing fields of diverse crops, healthy soil, and green energy solutions. Above them, the stars form a constellation of interconnected nature, symbolizing the collective effort to restore the planet. The dreamer's vision bridges ancient wisdom and modern innovation to heal the earth. A peaceful, spiritual gathering around a sacred fire in a meadow, where dreamers of tomorrow share their collective vision of ecological restoration. The scene is filled with glowing symbols of sacred earth, knowledge, ancient trees, animals, and celestial patterns. The dreamers are united in their intention to heal the planet, guided by reverence for the earth and its cycles of renewal. A vibrant city where nature and technology exist in balance, green rooftops, solar-powered buildings, and thriving parks surrounded by sustainable infrastructure. People walk through these spaces in harmony with nature, their actions contributing to a world of ecological restoration and prosperity. Above them, a radiant tree, symbolizing life and interconnectedness, grows, linking humanity to the earth's wisdom. An indigenous elder, surrounded by young dreamers, teaches the ancient ways of living in balance with the earth. In the background, sacred landscapes, mountains, forests, and oceans are bathed in soft, radiant light. The dreamers listen intently, absorbing the wisdom of the elders as they prepare to carry forward the teachings of reverence and respect for nature, ensuring the earth's vitality for future generations. A community engages in a harmonious visioning exercise, each person contributing their unique dreams for the future green cities, thriving ecosystems, and sustainable technologies. Above them, the world is represented as a glowing, interconnected web, with nodes of light representing diverse ecosystems and people working together. This image captures the collective dream for a regenerative Earth, where every small action contributes to the flourishing of the planet. A figure sits in peaceful meditation, surrounded by soft, glowing light in a serene, natural setting. The quiet stillness is reflected in the calm ripples of a nearby pond, symbolizing the deep silence required to reconnect with the inner dreamer. Above the figure, Faint celestial patterns swirl, representing the subtle whispers of intuition that guide the soul toward its true path. A vibrant, colourful scene of a creative workshop where individuals of all ages engage in various forms of artistic expression, painting, writing, playing instruments, and dancing. The energy is flowing freely, with vivid colours radiating from their work, symbolising the awakening of the dreamer through creative play and the spontaneous energy that allows new visions to emerge. A dream journal opened on a desk in a tranquil room, with handwritten notes and symbols scattered across the pages. In the background, a window reveals a soft twilight sky, symbolising the connection between the conscious and unconscious mind. Dream symbols such as keys, moons, and stars float in the air, representing the profound wisdom and guidance accessed through the practice of dream journaling. A person stands at the edge of a vast, misty forest, with their arms outstretched toward the unknown. The scene is filled with glowing pathways leading into the forest, representing the infinite possibilities of transformation and self-discovery. The forest represents the deep, untapped potential of the subconscious mind, waiting to be explored and awakened as the dreamer steps into their own power. A dreamer gazes into the sky, where the stars align to form symbols of the collective vision for a harmonious world: peace, love, sustainability, and unity. Around them, glowing threads of light connect to the earth, illustrating the deep interconnection between the individual and the collective dream. This image reflects the awakening of the dreamer as they recognize their role in shaping the world. A lush garden, where individuals tend to vibrant plants, symbolizing the nurturing of inner dreams and personal transformation. The garden is alive with creatures, each representing a different aspect of human creativity. Artists, thinkers, healers, working together to cultivate new growth. Above them, a radiant tree stands tall, its roots deeply intertwined with the earth, symbolizing the unity of personal awakening and the collective evolution of humanity. A dreamer, standing at the edge of a lush field, scatters seeds of light into the soil. As the seeds fall, vibrant flowers bloom, representing the dreams planted for future generations. In the sky above, faint constellations form symbols of hope, unity, and peace, reflecting the spiritual and transformative legacy being passed down through actions, dreams, and intention. An elder sits in a circle of young dreamers beneath the shade of an ancient tree. The elder shares stories, passing down wisdom, while the younger generation listens intently, their faces glowing with inspiration. The scene represents the transmission of dreams and wisdom, a generational cycle of creativity and vision that continues to unfold through the years. A radiant tree stands tall at the center of a vibrant community, its branches filled with glowing symbols of dreams, hearts, stars, and open books. The community members, representing diverse ages and backgrounds, gather around the tree, sharing their dreams and visions. The image symbolizes the nurturing of dreamers within a collective space, where imagination and collaboration create a shared future. A young dreamer holds a glowing lantern, standing at the edge of a winding path that stretches into a distant horizon. Along the path, ancient stones etched with symbols of wisdom mark the way, leading into a world where dreams are actively shaping the landscape fields of creativity, forests of peace, and cities of sustainability. The lantern represents the inner light of the dreamer, illuminating the way for future generations. A celestial garden blooms under a starlit sky, where each star represents a dream or vision passed from one generation to the next. Dreamers, depicted as ethereal beings, tend to the garden by planting seeds of light that grow into radiant trees and flowers, symbolizing the creation of a future that aligns with collective dreams and shared values of love, compassion, and harmony. A group of diverse individuals stand together, holding colorful threads that connect to a glowing orb above them. The orb, pulsing with light, represents the collective dream, shaped by the contributions of many. The threads stretch outward, weaving into the fabric of the earth, symbolizing the legacy of dreams passed down through time, influencing future generations and creating a unified vision for the world. A vast, celestial landscape where dreamers from different cultures depicted as glowing figures stand hand in hand, their dreams merging into a radiant tapestry of light. This light spreads across the globe, symbolizing the unity of humanity through shared visions of peace, love, and collective prosperity. Above, a network of stars connects them, illustrating the invisible bonds that transcend borders and divisions. A dreamer, standing in a tranquil garden, gazes up at a floating orb of light, where symbols from different cultures, Egyptian hieroglyphs, Greek mythological figures, Chinese calligraphy, and Native American dream symbols swirl together. The orb represents the universal nature of dreams, showing how diverse traditions intersect through shared visions of wisdom, peace, and guidance from beyond the physical world. A serene landscape where people from different nations, represented by diverse symbols of culture and heritage, are seated around a glowing campfire. The fire represents the universal light of dreams, and as each person shares their visions, the flames grow brighter, symbolizing the collective power of dreams to unite humanity and guide us toward a harmonious future. A glowing, interconnected map of the world, where dreamers across continents send radiant beams of light to one another. The beams weave into patterns that form an intricate web across borders, demonstrating how dreams from every corner of the globe connect, creating a shared vision of peace and sustainability. The world, once divided, is now united through the power of collective dreaming. A dreamer floats among ethereal clouds, gazing down at a peaceful, flourishing world below. The landscape is a blend of cities, forests, and oceans, where humans live in harmony with nature. The dreamer's eyes reflect the unity of the earth, with distant figures holding hands, symbolizing the interconnectedness of all cultures and the collective vision of a sustainable, compassionate future. A circle of dreamers, each wearing clothing inspired by their cultural heritage, sit together on a glowing spiral staircase that ascends into the sky. Above them, the stars form a vast, interconnected network of light, representing the collective human consciousness. As they share their dreams, the staircase pulses with energy, symbolizing the creation of a unified global consciousness, where dreams of peace and collaboration rise together. A dreamer stands at the threshold of a glowing, cosmic portal, gazing out at a vibrant, interconnected world, where nature and technology coexist in harmony. The dreamer's arms are raised, as if inviting others to step into this new era. In the sky above, interconnected constellations form symbols of unity, justice, and peace, guiding humanity toward a collective awakening. A vast, peaceful cityscape, built on sustainable practices, where people engage in collaborative work, and nature flows through every aspect of life. Above, glowing orbs of light hover, symbolizing the dreamer's shared vision, justice, equality, and interconnectedness. This vision of the new world is alive with color and vitality, depicting the shift from individualism to collective well-being. A gathering of diverse dreamers around a luminous, sacred tree, whose roots extend deep into the earth, symbolizing humanity's connection to nature. The dreamer's hands reach out to the tree, passing light and energy to one another. This image embodies the spiritual revolution of the dreamers, uniting individuals in a shared mission to protect the earth and nurture collective well-being. A glowing river flows through a thriving landscape, its waters carrying symbols of sustainability, collaboration, and peace. Along the banks, people of different cultures and backgrounds work together to plant trees, build homes, and nurture the land. The river represents the flow of collective consciousness, uniting humanity in the shared vision of a new era founded on harmony and mutual respect. A luminous circle of dreamers stands on the edge of a tranquil forest, their hands intertwined as they share visions of a peaceful, just, and sustainable world. Above them, the sky radiates with vibrant colors, forming patterns of cosmic unity. This scene symbolizes the collective act of dreaming, a revolution of the spirit where humanity embraces its shared responsibility for the earth and each other. A figure stands in a field under a brilliant, radiant sun, surrounded by lush, thriving nature. The sun's rays stretch outward, touching communities, cities, and oceans, symbolizing the far-reaching influence of the dreamer's awakening. The figure gazes upward, embodying the vision of a new world, where humanity and nature exist in perfect balance, guided by love, compassion, and interconnectedness. A person stands in the center of a bustling community, holding a glowing lantern that illuminates their surroundings. The light from the lantern spreads outward, touching others, symbolizing the ripple effect of embodying compassion, justice, and kindness in daily actions. The vibrant scene shows individuals working together, planting trees, building homes, and sharing resources, reflecting the collective power of living the dream. A serene landscape where a group of dreamers, hand in hand, walk together along a winding path. Each step they take leaves behind glowing footprints, representing the actions they take to manifest their dreams. Above them, a radiant sky forms shapes of hearts, trees, and symbols of unity, illustrating the connection between personal actions and collective transformation. The scene captures the unity that arises from individuals living in alignment with their values. A dreamer, standing in front of a mirror, gazes at their reflection. Behind them, the world they envision, a vibrant, sustainable city, a peaceful community, and a healthy earth mirrors their inner transformation. The mirror symbolizes the alignment between thought, word, and action. The dreamer's expression is one of determination, as they see their vision reflected back at them, ready to be brought into reality through their own actions. A group of individuals gather around a glowing tree in a lush, thriving forest. They share stories, dreams, and visions of the future, each person contributing to the collective dream. The roots of the tree spread out into the earth, symbolizing the interconnectedness of their efforts. The scene shows how a supportive, nurturing community fosters resilience, where challenges are faced together and the dream of a better world is realized collectively. A solitary figure walks through a stormy landscape, carrying a small, glowing orb of light. The orb represents their dreams and inner vision, which guides them through the challenges ahead. The storm symbolizes the obstacles and setbacks they face, but the orb shines brightly, showing resilience in the face of adversity. This scene highlights the power of perseverance and the unwavering commitment to living the dream, no matter the external circumstances. A dreamer kneels in a vibrant garden, planting seeds of light into the fertile soil. Around them, flowers and trees begin to bloom, representing the small actions that contribute to the larger vision of a sustainable and harmonious world. Above, the stars align, forming constellations of peace and justice, showing how every step toward living the dream plants seeds that will grow into a brighter future for all. A luminous dreamer floats between two realms, the physical world on one side, bathed in soft twilight, and a celestial, ethereal landscape on the other, filled with stars and radiant beings. The dreamer's form dissolves into light, symbolizing the soul's transition beyond the physical body. Above, a cycle of life, death, and rebirth spirals outward, showing the eternal journey of the soul through realms of existence. A figure stands on the banks of a glowing river, watching as the flow of water transforms into swirling visions of past lives, future possibilities, and cosmic realms. The river symbolizes the eternal flow of the soul, moving between life and death, carrying the dreamer on their journey through infinite time. Above, the sky is filled with ancient symbols of rebirth and transformation, reflecting the cyclical nature of existence. A dreamer lies in a serene, sacred space, their body surrounded by glowing patterns of energy that represent the interconnectedness of all life. In the background, the universe stretches infinitely, with stars and galaxies forming a tapestry of light. This scene symbolizes the soul's journey beyond the material world, where dreams and realities merge, showing the unity of life, death, and the eternal dream. A cosmic tree, its roots deep in the earth and branches reaching into the stars, represents the connection between the living world and the realms beyond. Dreamers from different cultures are seen beneath the tree, looking up toward the stars, where their ancestors and spiritual guides send messages through glowing symbols. The scene embodies the perpetual cycle of life, death, and spiritual awakening, showing how the soul continues its journey beyond the physical realm. A figure, draped in flowing robes, stands at the threshold of a glowing doorway, beyond which lies a vast, timeless landscape of swirling energy and light. The figure steps forward, symbolizing the soul's passage from life into the afterlife, where dreams become the means of navigating the eternal realms. The doorway represents the transition between life and death, with the endless horizon illustrating the infinite possibilities that await in the dream state. A celestial dreamer, surrounded by a glowing spiral of stars, gazes into the void where the boundaries of time and space dissolve. From the dreamer's mind, swirling symbols of ancient wisdom and spiritual knowledge emerge, symbolizing the soul's journey across lifetimes. The scene represents the eternal dream of existence, where life and death are part of the same cosmic flow, with the dreamer acting as both creator and creation in the grand unfolding of the universe. A cosmic tapestry unfurls, its threads woven from stars, dreams, and ancient symbols. Each thread represents an individual dreamer, their visions blending into the greater whole. The image shows the intricate connections between personal dreams and the collective story of humanity, with glowing threads linking dreamers across time and space, creating a vibrant, living web of existence. A dreamer stands in the center of a circle of light, with glowing threads radiating outward, symbolizing their dream's impact on the world. These threads weave into the fabric of a vast, interconnected landscape, cities, forests, and oceans, all pulsing with energy. The scene represents the ripple effect of the dreamer's actions, showing how their dreams shape the collective consciousness, influencing future generations. A radiant tree stands in the center of a vibrant world, its roots reaching deep into the earth and its branches extending into the sky. Each leaf on the tree represents a dream, symbolizing the dreamer's legacy. Around the tree, individuals of different backgrounds gather, their hands connected to the tree, showing the passing of dreams and wisdom from one generation to the next, continuously growing and evolving. A figure stands at the edge of a vast, luminous horizon, gazing at a path made of glowing stones. Each stone represents a dream realized, and as the figure walks, the path stretches out into an endless landscape where the dreams of past and future dreamers intertwine. The scene symbolizes the ongoing journey of the dreamer's legacy, where each step forward continues the unfolding tapestry of humanity's collective vision. A large, swirling spiral made of light winds through a cosmic landscape, with dreamers from different cultures standing along the path, each adding a thread to the spiral. As they contribute their visions, the spiral grows larger, representing the collective legacy of dreams. The image captures the unity of individual dreams, showing how each dreamer plays a part in creating the eternal, living tapestry of human evolution. A vibrant scene of a gathering where storytellers pass down ancient wisdom and dreams to the younger generation. Glowing threads of light flow from one storyteller to another, each thread representing a dream or vision passed down through the ages. In the background, the landscape reflects the evolution of these dreams, with new, shining cities and landscapes emerging from the energy of the dreams shared by the ancestors. A luminous figure, their form dissolving into light, stands on the edge of a vast cosmic ocean. The ocean's waves represent the flow of the eternal dream, connecting life and death. The figure gazes into the horizon, where the golden sun rises from the sea, symbolizing the ultimate awakening to the infinite. Above, stars form a spiral, representing the eternal cycle of existence and the interconnectedness of all souls. A radiant doorway opens into a luminous, infinite landscape, with the dreamer stepping through, leaving behind the material world. The path ahead is illuminated by countless stars, each symbolizing a previous life, a dream realized, and a lesson learned. The door represents the transition from life to death, and beyond, where the dreamer merges with the eternal flow of the universe, becoming one with the cosmic dream. A celestial garden stretches infinitely, with glowing flowers and trees representing various lifetimes and dreams. Each petal and leaf shimmers with the wisdom and experiences of the soul's journey. The dreamer floats through the garden, their form radiant with cosmic energy, embracing the infinite flow of life, death, and rebirth. This scene symbolizes the eternal cycle of existence, where each phase of life is a new dream unfolding in the cosmic tapestry. A cosmic spiral of light and energy winds through a dark, starry sky, symbolizing the eternal path of the soul. The dreamer, glowing with spiritual energy, moves upward through the spiral, shedding old forms and transitioning into higher realms. The spiral represents the soul's journey through time, from one dream to the next, ever evolving and ever expanding, as the boundaries between life and death dissolve into the infinite. A dreamer, seated in a meditative pose, is surrounded by swirling galaxies and vibrant cosmic energy. The dreamer's body dissolves into the stars, symbolizing the soul's return to the source. Above, a radiant cosmic eye watches over, representing the universal consciousness that sees all dreams. This scene embodies the final awakening, where the dreamer transcends the physical realm and becomes one with the infinite, ever-expanding universe. A vast, glowing tree stands in the center of a cosmic landscape, its roots stretching deep into the earth and its branches reaching into the stars. The dreamer, standing beneath the tree, gazes upward at a spiral of light that leads into the infinite. The tree represents the connection between life and death, growth and transformation, with the dreamer's soul moving along the spiral toward unity with the eternal flow of existence.